Terence Crawford was Turki Alalshikh at the other event across town. Put out an open challenge to you on the internet with Turki Alalshikh calling you out. What's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comment.
And Canelo said no comment. Your reaction to that? And that seems like that you do want this fight now.
Well, I've been wanting to fight, you know. I feel as if that's a legacy fight. I feel as if, you know, this is...
Terence Crawford is working hard to get Canelo Álvarez to fight him in a long-awaited super fight. Canelo Álvarez, on the other hand, has been very tough. Before the fight, he made some crazy requests for money and even made up an excuse about Terence Crawford's weight. He wants to help Terence Crawford, but Crawford makes it clear that he doesn't need any help. He turned his back on Terence Crawford in a way that hurt him after Crawford and Turki Alalshikh put out a video saying they wanted to fight again.
The Canelo-Berlanga fight. And then after that, I went to the UFC fight.
He was asked at his news conference after the fight what he thought about their social media statement, but the Mexican champion didn't say anything. Because of this, Terence Crawford has hit back at Canelo for ignoring him. Canelo is the only opponent Crawford thinks adds to his reputation at this point, so he was very interested in his most recent fight. Crawford just made his debut at super welterweight, which is 2 weight classes below Canelo. On the show, he told TMZ Sports that Canelo was great as always.
Start with the Canelo fight, the Canelo card. Obviously, you said that put me in coaching.
First I went to the Canelo-Berlanga fight, and then I went to the UFC fight. I think Canelo put on a great show, like he always does. Canelo is Canelo. I think Berlanga put on a great show as well. He showed a lot of heart and great finish as well, and it made for a great fight. Crawford's win over Israel Madrimov at 154 pounds was his first distance fight in 8 years and led some experts to question whether or not his own power was beginning to lose its sting as he continued to move up. That will become more clear against the even bigger Canelo, despite those warnings from some in the boxing world. In the same interview, the 36-year-old from Omaha reiterated his wish.
First, what did you think of his performance versus Berlanga?
I think he put on a great performance.
I've been wanting the fight. It's a legacy fight. It's the biggest fight in boxing today. I feel like the fight is the last of the Mohicans. I think the fight would be huge. You've got 2 guys who are top 3 pound for pound going head-to-head together. I know Canelo is bigger than me, but I'm up for the fight. It's all respect, and if he does decide to come my way and we get in the ring, then it would be an exciting fight. Of course I'll beat him. There is no question in my mind that I wouldn't beat anyone. I step in the ring with Canelo. He said post-fight that he would now take time with his family before making a choice as to what's next.
On a tremendous show as well. You know, he showed a lot of heart and grit and determination as well, and that made for a great fight.
He will likely return as is his routine on Cinco de Mayo weekend in May. When asked about the Crawford fight, he said no opinion. ESPN's Mike Coppinger said prior to the bout against Edgar Berlanga that Álvarez was seeing a possible rematch with Dimitri Bivol in May if Bivol defeats Artur Beterbiev for the undisputed light heavyweight title on OCTA 12. However, Crawford seemed to hint on X that he has his eyes set on Canelo following Saturday's bout. The Saudi boxing chief now wants to make the super fight again, after previously saying that he had no interest in pursuing it anymore.
Here at the spin, feel me? What you doing next? We want the Nanches.
Alalshikh once had the clash at the top of his boxing wish list and even made an offer to the Mexican hero, yet after a breakdown in communication with Canelo the proposal was withdrawn for a while. It seemed as though the fight was dead in the water, but following Canelo's dominant unanimous decision win over Edgar Berlanga on Saturday night at the T-Mobile Arena, the former pound-for-pound king received a clear message from Crawford and His Excellency Al-Sheikh.
Yes! Let's go! Canelo, come on!
The pair were down the road, watching UFC 306 at the Las Vegas Sphere and jumped on Instagram Live to call out Canelo Turkey and tell them, "You're going to go for Canelo." Next, Crawford said yes. An answer? Always, let's go, Canelo. Come on, we are ready. Crawford then added, "You heard it from him. Just put me in the game." By Canelo Crawford, the biggest fight in boxing, but we stay ready though.
Hey.
We stay ready, that way we don't have to get ready. This change of tune comes after His Excellency Alalshikh took to social media in August to WR Right just wrapped up an important meeting now with my team planning for the future fights that we will make for 2024 to 2025. Turki Alalshikh, the head of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, told Cooper in August that he is working with Crawford in an attempt to get Alvarez to agree to the bout.
Football in the game.
I will give Canelo what I think is a good price. Alalshikh said, if he takes it, he deals directly with me to finish the deal. I don't want anyone in the middle. I promised Crawford a big fight. I want Canelo for Crawford, and Crawford wants Canelo, but if Canelo is crazy with his financial demands, I will still promise Crawford any fight he wants. However, after Canelo Alvarez made an outrageous demand, he replied, I decided to disregard the Canelo fight as I don't want it anymore. Instead, I will be focused on the US market with bigger fights, especially for the legend Crawford.
Get ready for the main event, y'all.
Canelo responded by insisting he doesn't like the way Alalshikh works, which caused an angry reply from the chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority. I heard Canelo say that he respects me but doesn't like the way we do business. Alalshikh tweeted that as for him respecting me, it doesn't matter to me if he does or not. As for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like it because I only target big fights at fair prices, so of course anyone who likes easy fights won't like that, and I know how he feels after losing to Bivol, so he's been looking for easier fights ever since. Also, I'm not the one who's afraid of fighting Benavidez or Crawford. Therefore, I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with big amounts of money that can't be paid, so I'm continuing my way to make big fights that serve the boxing world, and he's on his way to making easy show-only fights.
I can't go down anymore. But you know, like he say, you know, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for
Crawford improved his record to 41-0 with a victory over Israel Madrimov to win the WBA and WBO temporary lightweight titles. A3 Alvarez has won 5 straight matches since Bivol beat him in May 2022, but he has been criticized for taking fights with easy opponents to pat on his resume. The 34-year-old is February 2nd 62 in 66 career fights. Alvarez scored a unanimous decision win over Edgar Berlanga on Saturday to keep the World Boxing Association, World Boxing Council, World Boxing Organization, and the Ring Super Middleweight titles. The Mexican is fresh off another win in the 168 ranks, dropping and largely dominating the previously undefeated Edgar Berlanga. Although Berlanga fought admirably in parts and did well to recover from the knockdown in the third, it was another routine, and some would say it was an overmatched showing for Canelo. Canelo Alvarez crashed one of his patented hooks into Edgar Berlanga's chin in round 3 as the big underdog fell to the mat. Saturday, Berlanga banged his gloves together in anger and collected himself. He then continued to pump his jab from the outside ass, shooing the right hand that made a name for himself in the first place. Berlanga scored a moral victory, perhaps in reaching the final bell for Canelo. It's a 4th straight fight where he floored his opponent but settled for a decision. Victory, regardless, Alvarez didn't seem worried. He hasn't scored a KO since November 2021. Now what are they going to say? Alvarez 34 said during his post-fight interview. I fight younger fighters. They say I fight older fighters. They always talk about my experience, my skill, my hard work, and my intelligence. Everything together makes me the best, whatever they may say. Canelo was a -1,600 favorite, and after a string of victories over boxers who are clearly not on his level since his loss to Dmitry Bivol in May 2022, he needs a challenge. Fortunately, there are choices to cure what ails boxing's top star. One such fighter who hopes to land the job is Terence Crawford, who was ringside. Crawford compared his quest to move up for a shot at Canelo to the 1983 Marvin Hagler-Robert Duran fight. Duran moved up from 150 pounds, except the smaller guy wins this fight. Crawford told ESPN on Thursday that Canelo's next fight could be a stark departure from his past for where he was heavily favored to win. It could be a return to the elite level of competition, his toughest bout since he was defeated by Bivol. The potential assignment for Alvarez's expected return on CCO de Mayo weekend next year. A rematch against Bivol if all goes according to plan. Bivol rooted Canelo, a light heavyweight title defense despite the close margins on the scorecards, 1,151,133 times. And if Bivol can beat Artur Beterbiev in a highly anticipated coin flip fight for the undisputed light heavyweight championship on October 12th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Alvarez told ESPN on Wednesday he's interested in a return. Next, Alvarez is motivated. He's said to exact revenge on the only man to beat him besides Floyd Mayweather throughout his 66 pro fights. The Mexican icon is also enthused at the idea of becoming the undisputed winner in a second weight class.
Congratulations on the victory. As you look back on this night,
Nothing was right in that fight for me versus Bivol Alvarez. Canelo dealt with a left wrist injury and later received surgery following his September 2022 win in his third meeting with Gennady Golovkin with his surgically repaired lead hand. Canelo scored a knockdown in his 3 subsequent fights, John Ryder, Jermall Charlo, and Hai Monga, before he scored a knockdown of Berlanga on Saturday. All four opponents though were given little chance to beat Canelo, but if Canelo does fight Bivol again, he'll find himself in rare ground as the underdog. I think that fight I shouldn't lose, but it is what it is. Alvarez said. He added that he's motivated by the chance to fight Bivol. Being there 100%, of course, Bivol first needs to beat Beterbiev, boxing's only champion with a 100% co-ratio. Bivol is a -125 favorite per ESPN. I bet he has that ability to beat TBV, Canelo said, adding that he's only interested in Bivol if he wins. Artur Beterbiev is a strong fighter. He's a good fighter too, and it's going to be a hard fight. There's another barrier, though. Alvarez showed interest in a Bivol rematch following his May 2023 win over Ryder, but only at 175 pounds, where the first encounter took place. Bivol insisted on a return fight at 168 pounds for Alvarez's undisputed super middleweight championship.
Champion on a great fight. One takeaway from press row, a lot of people were just saying, you just look like a guy that just loves to get in there.
It could present a sticking point again, though Alvarez represents Bivol's biggest payday possible, as Canelo does for every potential opponent. I need drive, Bivol, ESPN's number for pound-for-pound boxer, told ESPN last summer to fight against him. It's not an easy fight, and I already beat him at 175, why should I fight him again? Well, let's try for his belt, but he doesn't want this fight at 168, and I don't care. Of course he feels inside of him that he won that fight, but we're sports. We every time could find excuses, and we every time could find reasons why it happened. Every time I finish my fight, I think about, oh, I could fight better, but I didn't because of that, and this because I felt pain in my leg, or I got a bad breakfast, or something else. Alvarez has found reasons to refuse a fight with the volume-punching and longtime mandatory challenger David Benavidez, who has long pushed for a matchup with Canelo. Benavidez finally moved up to 175 pounds in June and wasn't impressive in a win over Alexander Gazek, though Benavidez dealt with a torn hand tendon. Canelo continues to show no interest in a meeting with Benavidez.
and give the fans what they want, a fight, and I enjoy what I do, and I still love.
He's fighting in his weight class 175, and he doesn't look like he always looks, because it's different when you're fighting in your weight class. Alvarez said the other appealing choice for Canelo is Crawford. ESPN's number 2 pound-for-pound boxer, the former undisputed welterweight champion, made his 154-pound debut with a decision win over Israel Madrimov last month, but he was far from dominant against a highly underrated boxer who reigned as junior middleweight champion, the 37-year-old. Crawford continues to campaign for a shot at Canelo at the 168 pounds weight limit, though he remains to weight classes or 14 pounds below Alvarez, while there's plenty of doubt regarding Crawford's ability to deal with Canelo's size advantage. There's no doubt surrounding Crawford's skill nor the commercial viability of the event. A Canelo-Crawford fight is probably the biggest in boxing below heavyweight, and it's one Crawford seeks beyond the immense payday it would present. I feel like it's a heritage fight, and I feel like it's a fight that I can actually win, Crawford said.
Enrique Veas, gusto saludarte, felicidades por la pelea, pero a mí me gustaría saber tu sentir, ¿no? Empezaste anunciando la pelea que
A smaller guy in every weight class that I ever fought in. Everybody always said I was too small for this guy, too small for that guy. And I always was successful in the fight. Being bigger doesn't win fights, so my skills pay the bills, and my skills got me this far. I think it would tell who is the number one in the post-Mayweather age, who's the king of kings. Crawford hasn't come all that close to losing yet. Though Madrimov gave him his toughest fight, he sliced through the weight classes after winning his first championship at lightweight, becoming the undisputed champion at junior welterweight and welterweight. And as Crawford points out, he's both taller than Canelo with a longer reach, 1.5 in height and 3.5 in reach. Still, Canelo is far bigger than stature with the punching power to match. 10 of Canelo's past 13 fights were fought at 168 pounds, 2 at 175, and 1 at 160. The last time Canelo fought at 150 pounds, September 2016. If I beat him, nobody's going to say, oh, he beat Crawford because Canelo's a good fighter. Canelo said, he's a pound-for-pound great too, but he's smaller. You're going to start seeing him, but he's small in this. But if the money's right, why not at this moment in my career?
Los 12 rounds. Ahora te pregunto yo a ti.
Para llevar ahí con el tema de las tarjetas y ganarlo, pero la gente quiere ver ese punch, quiere ver ese knockout.
Canelo is referring to his reputation that's already secured as one of the all-time greats and the long-time face of the sport. He earns upward of $35 million every time he steps through the ropes, and there's nothing left for him to show he still has the hunger to compete. Train hard though, and at some point soon he'll surely want to test himself, which means a fight with either Bivol or Crawford is next. I already fight the best out there, and I'm still doing good things. Canelo said, I'm the best in the world. Canelo Álvarez has been warned to stay away from Floyd Mayweather by his uncle, or he will be beat again, after the Mexican comfortably.
Está protegiendo, que se está haciendo su trabajo para no ser noqueado y es lo que pasa, ¿no? De querer, claro que quiero. No se pudo, pero demostré que soy el mejor. Para eso son los 12 asaltos.
The question was about
Moved past Edgar Berlanga via unanimous decision on September 14th. Took place in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena and saw the 34-year-old run out 1-17-1-1-0-1-1-8-1, 0-9-1-1-8-1, 0-9 winner, as well as sending the Puerto Rican to the canvas with a vicious left hook in the third round to get the crowd on their feet. As a result, he retained World Boxing Association, World Boxing Council World and the Ring Super Middleweight titles and extended his professional record to February 2nd, 62 in his second victory of 2024 after defeating Haymanja in May.
and the 12 rounds are for showing who's the best. The knockout is unpredictable. You can't just go out and get it because you want to. Did I want?
Mayweather retired professionally in 2017 after defeating Conor McGregor to improve his record to 50-0, but he still stays active as a fighter in exhibition bouts and recently defeated John Gotti 3 in a controversial rematch. And that's all for now. For the very best information on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get told when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.